Okay, so we're here to talk about a G major line cliche. So what this does, it allows us to take a G major chord, in this case a G major 6, and we're going to just use 3 strings of that, just strings 6, 4, and 3, and we're going to connect that with another inversion of that chord using the same strings. And we're going to connect that with the passing chords in between to create this line cliche. And let me just walk you through the frets we're going to use. We're going to start with low string, fret 3, and then 4th string, fret 2, and then the 3rd string is going to be fret 4. The fingers we use are 2, 1, and 4. And again, that's 3, and then the 5th string is muted. And then we have 2nd fret on the 4th string, and then 4th fret on the 3rd string. And our goal for this is to get to 7th fret on the low string, still muted 5th string, and then 5th fret on the 4th string, and 7th fret on the 3rd string. That chord is, that's a B, a G, and a D. And that is a first inversion G major chord. And you can use it in place of regular G chords. Just a rearranging of the notes of the G chord. So when we use a G6 chord, we get this nice little walking pattern. We can walk a chord above that, which looks like an A minor 6 shape. And then we're going to move that up 1 fret, creates a little tension, and then we're going to shift that to the actual first inversion G major chord. So let's walk through the frets we use. So again, 3, 2, and 4. Now when we move, we're actually going to keep our 2nd finger and 1st finger in the position they're in. We're going to move up 2 frets from that G6 chord, and we're going to lose the little finger and replace it with our 3rd finger on the 3rd string, but we're going to put it on the same fret as our 2nd finger. So now the frets we're using are 5, a muted 5th string, and then 4 and 5. So that first move sounds like this. From 3, 2, 4 to 5, 4, 5. The next move is the easy one. You just move all of this up 1 fret, and then we take these 2 fingers, and you can just extend those fingers while leaving the 1st finger where it is. You can just shift them up a fret, and that would look like this. But at that point, a lot of people will switch to 3rd and 4th fingers because that reach is a lot easier. That would look a little differently. Same idea, 5, 4, 5, move up 1 fret, and then we just move the 3rd finger to the 7th fret low string, and then use the 4th finger to play 7th fret on string 3. Either way is fine, and this works in reverse. That probably sounds familiar. It's a good ending lick for a tune. You know, you can kind of put this in any key. I almost said in the key of G, but if you do this in B flat, works wherever you put it. So let's walk through that again to make sure you have a handle on what fingers and what frets. And I'm going to do the most popular way, which is to switch the last 2 fingers at the end, and I'll call that. But if you'd like to just extend those fingers at the end, that's fine too. So we'll start with frets 3, and then a muted string. I'll say X for that. Then 2 and 4, and that's fingers 2, 1, 4 on frets 3, 2, 4. So we'll play that, and generally we'll play each of these twice. Then we take these 2 fingers and just move them up 2 frets. Move the whole chord shape if you like, 2 frets. But we're going to lose the little finger and put the 3rd finger down on that 3rd string on fret 5. So these 2 fingers are on the same fret now. 5, X, 4, 5. Then we're going to move the entire shape up 1 fret, just like that. And then, like I said, we're going to do the most common way, which is to move the 3rd finger to the low string, and little finger goes to the same fret on the 3rd string. And then we'll practice that backwards. So we have 7, 5, 7 with fingers 3, 1, and 4. 5th string stays muted through the entire line cliche. So that will sound like this. And then 6, X, 5, 6, fingers 2, 1, and 3. Back up 1 fret, same fingers, but now we're on frets 5, muted, and then 4 and 5. And then back to the G6 chord. You just move back 2 whole frets, and then replace your 4th finger, or replace your 3rd finger with your 4th finger. So now you have 3, muted 5th, and then 2 and 4. So let me run through that a couple of times. I'll do it slow so you can hear the progression, and then I'll put it in context of a song. So here it is slow. And then reverse. Faster, medium tempo here. 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like that. Now, let's do it quick one time, then we'll talk a little more. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple of things that you can do to make this easier. Just remember, make sure at the end, if it's easier just to extend those fingers, not a problem. Feel free to do that. There's, in fact, I will do that depending on what I'm approaching or where I'm, coming from with this lick. There are times where just doing the finger extension will work better. There are times when you really need to get those other fingers up there. But let's say, for example, I'm using this to approach a C major 6 that's the same shape as the G major 6, but you'll have the root of that on the 8th fret here. So to get to that shape, it's actually easier to do the extension of these 2 fingers rather than the shift, because if you do the extension, you're kind of lined up for that. So I'll show you what I mean. Kind of slowly, just watch the orientation of these fingers when I make the shift, and I'll kind of talk through it. So we move up, and here when we slide up 1 fret, I'm just going to extend those 2 fingers so I can get to the C major 6 chord, and then back to the G6 chord. So I'll do that fast so you can hear that again in context. Sort of like that. Approaching a chord, it just depends on what the chord is, as far as, how the fingers are going to work, what's going to be the easiest for you. So feel free to try it both ways. Know it both ways if you can. That's really the way to go. Because again, this is a situation where there's no right or wrong, it's all context. So let's talk about how we can apply this to a real tune. So Dinah, for example, that's a song in the key of G. And here's Dinah without the cliche. I'll just play the A section once, and then I'll repeat it, but I'll use the cliche, and you'll be able to hear how that is a little different. It just adds a little new dimension to the song. So here it is with no cliche at all, and then I'll call the repeat, and I'll do the cliche. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how that kind of added to it? So you do have to kind of think how it will fit into each song. There are times where you can just race through it, times where you have to stretch it out. Kind of like that. Times where you can use it forwards and backwards. There are also times where you'll use this to approach a chord that maybe you'll surround. For example, G, and use the cliche to get up to the inversion of G to approach an A minor 6 chord. That's a D there. See how you can kind of surround a chord and come back to it? So there are all kinds of uses for this. So go ahead and learn this, get comfortable with it, and then when it comes up in a tune in another video, you'll know exactly what to do. So thanks for watching, and see you in another video.